You are asking yourself if the NFT market will ever come back, if there will ever be another NFT bull run, let alone an epic bull run where prices will overshoot the previous all-time highs. And at the moment, this question is reasonable as we are down still on Bitcoin, on altcoins, on NFTs from our previous bull market highs. Bitcoin has seen 69,000 and has fallen down to 15,500 in last November. Now recovering to around 30,000 US dollars. But altcoins and NFTs are still very much in the gutter. The prices are horrible. We are reading headlines that Justin Bieber's Bored Ape, for example, bought for 1.3 million US dollars is now worth around $50,000 to $60,000 only. A price decline of more than 90%. Many NFTs are down 90%. We are seeing it in the charts. We are seeing it in the hard facts. And the question is, will there ever be a turnaround or will it all go to zero? Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one I am going to show you exactly why and when the next NFT bull run is coming back on and how heavy it will be. Obviously, all of this is only my opinion, and if you want to make a financial decision, this is not financial advice. In fact, this is for entertainment purpose only, so please do your own research before you ape full degen in whatever NFT that we are talking about here. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, then please smash up the like button down below right now. Thanks for the like, and subscribe to my channel, tap the little bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video. And I quickly want to thank my rare hodlers, my patrons, my channel members for always supporting me here on this journey. Thank you all so much. And with that out of the way, let's jump finally in. So let's talk about the current situation a little bit more, because all of what we are seeing right now, Bitcoin, even stocks, but Bitcoin, altcoins, NFTs, it's all liquidity related. Because when stimuli checks were out for everyone, where everyone could get free money, when money came out of the printer like there was no tomorrow, everyone was buying every altcoin and every shitty baby Doge whale NFT. That was when prices were the highest. When people bought Donnies for 80,000 US dollars and partner statues for 30,000 US dollars and an entire Bitcoin for $69,000. That was when money was pumped into the market. But then, after a while, the Fed decided to start rate hikes, to tighten the market, to drain liquidity out of the market. And that was the turning point where this liquidity was missing from all of the markets in the world, and many assets started to decline and some assets started to collapse heavily, which opened the door for attacks to destroy projects like Terra Luna, algorithmic stablecoins, and some of the over-leveraged exchanges and even over-leveraged individuals. But the important thing here is that the decline is sharper when the risk in the asset is higher. So if we build a hierarchy in the space that we are talking about, we have Bitcoin as a relatively risk-free asset compared to the other ones in the crypto space, then Ethereum, then big caps, then mid caps, then small caps, then micro caps, and then NFTs. So NFTs are the most risky asset in the entire space, as they are very young, very difficult to compare, and not really on the radar of many people just yet. So that the entire liquidity that is focusing and concentrating on them is very, very low. So keep that in mind while we are going through this. Obviously, the crypto space and within that the NFT space, they are all risk-on assets. Even tech stocks are considered risk-on assets. So money in those times of tightening gets sucked out of these risk-on assets first, which is why we had a collapse in the tech stocks together with the collapse in the Bitcoin, the altcoin and the NFT market. And this money goes into safe investments. That's the Wall Street playbook. That's the playbook of everyone. And even unconsciously, people, when they have less money, when they have to pay back credits where suddenly the interest rate rose drastically, when they have to repay mortgages or whatever other things and money is missing, prices are still increasing, that is when they are certainly not putting any more money into crypto, into altcoins, and let alone into whatever penguin JPEG on OpenSea. So that is the situation in which we are. But the situation is changing. Inflation numbers have suggested that inflation is actually coming down quite a bit. And that could mean that there is no necessity for the Fed anymore to drain more liquidity from the market, which means that worldwide liquidity could come back just in time when the next Bitcoin halving is in the first half of the next year, around the end of April. Before we go to the next point, here is some proof that this affects everything. For example, the price of Rolex, also called boomer NFTs, has been declining, and the curve looks exactly like the one of the Bored Ape chart, which is also down drastically from where we have been in the peak of the bull run. So if you compare the two, they are quite alike, yet they are in completely different industries, but at the same time they are somewhat comparable in the reasons why you would buy them. Yes, the Rolex shows the time of the day, but it's more a flex than really watching the time. And so is probably an NFT, right? So with that said, the big question is now, how does the cycle work if we are dependent on liquidity? And how did it work last time? And when can we expect the next full-blown NFT bull run? And for that, I would like to go over the normal allocation first of funds throughout the crypto into the NFT market. The first thing that happens is that everyone sees Bitcoin coiling up again, which is right now. Money of smart money is going to be invested first when they are picking up more and more Bitcoin in the phase when others are not interested yet. And that is when everyone sucks out even more money out of NFTs, out of altcoins, what was still bound and down to ride the wave of Bitcoin up. And every smart investor at the time is going to lock in some profits. And the higher the Bitcoin rocket goes, the more profits are going to be locked in. Now, the usual retail investor will only know by then that something is happening in the Bitcoin space if they are not watching all the time Patient Hodler channel or some other channels here in the space like you guys do. So you see also in the numbers of videos and subscribers that the interest is fairly low. This is a very important point, which I will shed some light on in the next point. If these profits are locked in by whales, by smart money, by institutions, they're not going to take that money out and buy something nice. They want to put it in other investments, which is the point where people tend to put that money into the next best coin that is set to explode, which usually is Ethereum, exploding right after Bitcoin. Then also all the big caps of the altcoin space, the coins that around that time when Bitcoin tops out are found in the first 50 coins by market cap. Now, considering all of that, all of these coins will explode and do some tremendous gains for the owners. And some of that money, a percentage of that money, is going to be allocated in risky plays like mid caps, like small caps. And so only after the first booms in the big caps, these mid, small and micro caps will start exploding. And it is only then, after that, that some people say, okay, I have so many profits, I will start buying this and that NFT. I will do a flex because I just became an altcoin millionaire or whatever, right? So that is the time when the first NFTs will start moving and gain attention, which then will attract more flows. Now, you could say, okay, nice theory, but can we prove it? Yes, we can. If you go to the Google Trends Analytics and you are searching for Bitcoin, Ethereum and NFTs are representing the three take profit and reallocate phases, you will see that the search terms for these three assets or asset classes, basically, if you see that Ethereum would represent the altcoins, so you would have Bitcoin, altcoins, NFTs, you see that they are not happening, not spiking at the same time. So the first thing that is searched for is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is already shooting up because of whale money and institutional money, and everyone who was not informed will just see in the news that the Bitcoin price has shot up significantly, made some people rich, and they want to know what's going on. So they are searching for Bitcoin. But if you look at the orange line down below, you will see that the NFT space did not react yet. In fact, it took more than 1 year since the halving and around a year since the topping out of Bitcoin for the NFT market to move and then finally explode. Only from October 2021 until March, April, when we were already collapsing, the NFT market was exploding. And that, in my opinion, is the past performance that is very, very likely, maybe not to repeat, but to rhyme. We all know that past performance does not necessarily indicate future results, but we have seen from the Bitcoin and altcoin cycles that they are relatively moving in the same cycles. Now, the NFT space is relatively new, so we do not have 2 cycles to base our analysis on, but we have the last NFT run, and that it only happened so many months after the halving and so many months after topping out of Bitcoin. So if you're looking at the dates of Bitcoin topping out, of altcoins topping out, and then of NFTs topping out, you would more or less be able to determine when the next Bitcoin top should be, which is probably around end of 2024 to beginning of 2025. Then you will have an altcoin season in the spring of 2025. So you would, by middle to end of the year 2025, have your next massive NFT bull run. Let's also talk about the shape of this bull run, because we see there is a huge difference between the altcoin rally or the altcoin season that first ever happened and the altcoin season that happened in the last bull run. There were way more quality projects in the last altcoin season than in the previous one, and actually many of the projects that have been appearing in the first ever altcoin season have been disappearing from the top 100, top 200, or even disappearing from the radar of attention at all. Some made it, some didn't. Some are around, like XRP. Ethereum obviously is around, but there are also coins that actually are not coming back. Now with the NFTs, it will be the same. I bet that despite the absolute blue chip NFTs, most of the projects that are around at OpenSea are not coming back. I bet that people that lost money the last time or that observed that market the last time are looking for safer bets. Bets like officially licensed NFT, bets like 3D collectibles, bets like NFTs that you can actually use somewhere and that have real fan bases, real collector bases, such as the Veve NFTs. So why I'm telling this? Because I think Veve has the potential to be one of the most focused on projects, if they do everything right, leading up to this mid to end 2025. That these people will jump massively on those Veve collectibles because of those reasons, because they do not want to buy something that looks just like a minted JPEG of a penguin on a beach or whatever. People do not want to buy the same things that did very, very poorly in the end, even though that it was mostly liquidity driven. Many of these projects were scams. Many of these projects lack royalties, which means that they do not have an income from these collections and need to launch more and more collections to be able to finance the next one and to make money. Whereas Veve has royalties. The secondary market is basically repaying the licensors. Yes, also Veve has a liquidity problem, but I'm coming to that in a second as well. So overall, people will be focusing on high quality stuff, such as people with money are focusing more on Rolex than on any other watch that you can buy out there, despite the very high valued brands, just because of the brand, the scarcity, what the status is, what the basic felt utility is, and so on. Something that is really premium, right? So that is why Rolexes will come back in the next liquidity cycle, why they will be desired. And if Veve can manage to have that premium status for the next run, the go-to for premium collectibles, they will be highly desired. Lastly, let's talk about liquidity, because obviously we know from the previous videos that I made about the broken gem economy that at the moment the mechanisms are still draining a lot of liquidity from the market. And this is through the royalty fees, 2.5% to Veve, 6% to Disney, for example, and also 10% when you're cashing out. That at one point, this is, on the one hand, this is something where people might be hesitant to come into the market, but on the other hand, it's also something that constantly gets liquidity and the gem amount out of the app. And if you see everything like more or less comparable collectibles, that's also true. But there is a certain point to it, and this will be my final thought, my strategy here in this market, preparing for the next mega bull run in the NFT space. My personal strategy is focusing on extremely scarce collectibles such as secret rare comics. Secret rare comics, some of them, like the one that dropped today, are only available in an edition size of 125, even less, to the public. And that means that liquidity is focusing exactly on those very scarce, officially licensed, high prestige items. So we see that already with the Miles Morales. High quality, big brand, big character, big price. And the scarcity of Miles Morales is there are only 249 of them because one has been burned. And recently we have seen sales around $15,000 for this collectible only in a bear market, not even in a bull run. So the big question here right now is, how does the strategy look? So for me, it is really buying those scarce items because I believe that liquidity is concentrating a lot on such items. And when you're considering this, you would say that because there is a natural cap, this is really a bottleneck, the price should explode very, very fast. When you see that these prices are going up, that is usually the point where some people that do not care about these amounts of money that you're reaching then are starting to flex and show off how they are buying all of these collectibles with these enormous high prices. So I will be focusing on these secret rare comics with 600, as we see, to down to 125 editions, because I think that is very, very scarce for a collectible. Now, you can already see how the effect of liquidity concentrating on a very scarce item is. There are at least 2 people with a ton of money that are focusing on acquiring number 41 mints. We have seen it on Twitter. One of them is Mr. 41, and the other one I cannot remember anymore, but also was buying extensive amounts of 41 mints. Very serious money overall. So the liquidity of these people is concentrating on 41 mints, and each drop of the normal collectibles, because comics do not even get to the 41 mints, but each drop of these collectibles has only one 41 mint. So 2 people are concentrating their entire liquidity on these number 41 mints. Seller exhaustion is already there because there's only one person to sell. But this, in a bull run, this will happen with collectibles very, very fast that only have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1000 editions. So that is why I am betting on these quick moves and quick seller exhaustions right now by acquiring, to my personal financial capabilities, some of the secret rare comics. That does not mean that you should buy them right now. You should see your own capabilities, your own opinion, and make your own assessment before you buy anything. But let me know in the comments below how your personal strategy looks and why it might be superior to the one that I am suggesting here. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in the next video.